Welcome back for yet another episode.
Hi.
We hope you be ready for some tales that will shiver your timbers.
Hello.
Be sure to keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times, lest ye be wanting to join me, crew. Swashbuckle up, and ye best be ready for a bumpy ride.
Welcome, everybody. I want to play a game.
Oh, games. I like to play games.
Welcome, everybody. How are you doing?
Hello.
How are we doing today?
I think
Welcome to
Welcome.
Spooky Saturday.
that was one hell of an entrance, Crumb. My goodness. How much money did you pay for that to put together? Goodness. That's like Hollywood production quality stuff there.
I know, it was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah. Who was the voice? Who was the voice person that put all that together? Has a lot of talent there.
I know, I was the voice actor for that one.
Really? That's amazing.
Crazy, right?
Absolutely survival in every way.
Pretty wild.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
wild.
And
No,
just
you
think,
have
this is before Halloween time. Just imagine how things are going to look then.
Oh, man, I love Halloween. I really hope that this pandemic stuff is going to be gone by Halloween. That would be really nice.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. I still want to run Kitchener Waterloo region's longest zombie walk, but I'm a little torn. I don't know if it's appropriate, especially with all the pandemic stuff going around. But it needs to be Halloween time. And what's this?
And Mike is saying, aren't you celebrating Halloween a little early? Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong.
Right?
You know, people have Christmas in July. We'll have Halloween in August. That's okay.
That's all right. Because you're like a first Halloween compared to the second Halloween.
Exactly.
The first supper and the second dinner.
Second breakfast and
then brunch.
and elevensies.
Elevensies? That's funny. I remember that one. Breakfast, then elevensies. Then brunch, then lunch. Then afternoon snack.
Exactly.
There it is.
Exactly.
There.
No, we have some stuff. I mean, I guess we're sending off. I guess this is a show about spooky, scary stuff and things like disappearing and whatever else. Talking about The Walking Dead. Talking about The Walking Dead. Rest in peace, TikTok.
What happened with the TikTokness?
Orange Man bad and all. Of course.
Oh, really?
Really? He found it. Well, actually, it's actually a good thing that TikTok is getting banned. Did you know that that TikTok is tracking more information than Facebook?
Fuck off. Really?
Yeah, and they have full
kidding me.
access. They have full access to your phone and information.
Let's get some apps, they said. It will be fine, they said, as all the information goes away.
Yep. No, it's pretty bad.
Oh,
But the rumor was that Microsoft was set to purchase it.
Oh, really?
Of
Wow.
course they would want to, because that gives them access to all of the information.
Of course! Where will the Bill Gates Foundation be without
Going
your
from-
information?
Going from one hand to the next hand, right? It's pretty nuts.
Remember,
That's insane.
China bad, Microsoft good.
China's bad.
China. Never get that guy's voice down.
It's a unique one.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, you have to spend like 50 years like taking other people's money and investing it.
Poorly.
And then going bankrupt. Now, aside from all of the Trump bashing and all that stuff, no, he is set to ban TikTok because of the repercussions it could have for the Chinese to not only be spying but tampering as well. It's pretty crazy.
Tampering. How so? That I'm not trying to be stupid, but how can that be temporary?
Tampering?
Yep.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's of course, you know, you can push stuff through the app, whatever else, blah blah blah, and apparently it acts in the same way that, like, you know, when apparently this is one interesting thing, that the app is designed in a way that when you start your first video, it's always going to get pushed really really hard because it wants you to get hooked on the app.
Who loves attention? Who
Right?
doesn't?
So your first videos on the app are going to get pushed extremely hard so that you continue using the app and you continue putting your information on it and all that other stuff. So
Start using your credit card to get special this and special that.
yep, and I'm pretty sure that they'll go ahead and they'll whatchamacallit, they'll push like certain things that they want to go through, right? You know,
Yeah.
bad this, bad that, you know, highlight the people that are saying the good say and everything else.
Yeah. Makes
So,
sense.
It's pretty crazy.
Oh.
Mike Walter saying Yellow Flash and Quartering covered the TikTok story earlier. Yeah, we're not really gonna. I was just more or less touching on it because I thought it was amusing. It's a Walking Dead story at this point.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny because everyone's saying, "Oh, the Chinese, China, they're bad.
China.
They're taking your identifications and they're doing evil things with it."
Well,
Meanwhile,
I don't know if you got this message. I got a text message yesterday.
did you? Oh,
I got a text
about
message
this?
from the Canadian government
oh,
saying that they have released a new app for COVID-19 tracking.
oh, yeah. I never got the text. It showed up on my Facebook feed, and I
Yeah.
made a meme for it. I haven't launched it yet because I think people are going to be very sensitive as soon as I do. But I find it to be very, very hilarious into itself because
Yeah,
basically, sorry, continue. Sorry.
Blaze Firestorm saying I got that one today. Yeah, it's so wild because they want, like, they say it's like, oh, it's all cryptic and everything else, blah blah blah.
Uh-huh.
They're tracking the Bluetooth information.
Uh-huh.
So they want you to turn on your Bluetooth and your phone will interact with other people's phones to cross-reference information.
Yep.
You know what's funny?
Well, besides that being absolutely hilarious,
You know what's really hilarious? This is actually mirroring a storyline that I wrote for Changeling.
Oh, really? Please
Yes.
record.
So back in my day,
I'll just sit down on the milk crate by the tree, telling tree.
back in my day, when I was a storyteller for Changeling the Lost, for a local chapter here, I wrote a plot that basically there was a character that was already existing in the world that was basically a ripoff of Wily from Mega Man, like Dr. Wily.
Okay.
He was a super genius guy, right?
Yeah.
And he was experimenting with the I can't remember what the hell it was called, the hedge, I think. Like he was a human and he was experimenting with the hedge. So basically, there was a point where a bunch of the changelings went to go rescue somebody from that he had captured, and one of the people cut him in half, and then they used his pool of blood to go back to the hedge. It's pretty gruesome. They used his pool of blood to go back into the hedge.
I thought Changeling was a happy game.
No, it's not happy. at all.
No.
So when I took over as storyteller, because it was just kind of like put aside. When I took over as storyteller, I'm like, oh, this is a great chance to make a very, very interesting thing and play off of the whole Mega Man lore, right? Because Dr. Wily created Zero, and Zero had the Maverick virus and blah, 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 right? Okay, so basically, the long story short was that what I had was, because his blood interacted with the hedge, he kind of infected it like a human virus.
Oh.
So he infected the hedge, much like the Maverick virus infected robots. right?
Awesome.
So he became a sentient virus that was both in the hedge and in the human world, because in the human world he was a computer virus.
Okay.
And so basically what happened was that as the computer virus, he created this network where he created free Wi-Fi, and it would connect everybody's devices and everybody's phones, and he would control
Yay!
and he would jump devices through the Bluetooth and everything else like that, and he would wreak havoc. So that's that. Like, literally, I'm like, I fucking wrote this story.
And then in the year 2020,
In the year 20XX, it is coming true.
how incredibly odd.
Yeah.
And remember, kids, when you download this app, all your information will be 110% completely safe, even if it's going through your iPhone or Android device.
Exactly. So I thought that was pretty fucking hilarious. I'm like, wow. I'm like,
Yeah.
where's my residuals? I wrote this fucking story.
Well, we got the social media. We could cut up, Mr. Dougie Ford and say, hey, what's this? What's going on here? Residuals.
Pay up, gay boys.
Residuals.
Pay up, gay boys.
Oh
my goodness.
My goodness gracious.
My goodness.
Yeah, and again, this whole tracking thing. My honest opinion, my real honest opinion.
We're honestly living in the Twilight Zone now.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know what we're just using Facebook, to just divide it up everywhere. And so, like, hey, you don't like the app? And that's okay. You can be tracked on Facebook because, Facebook is great in maintaining and keeping information safe.
I found it so ironic that everyone just mass exodus from Facebook because they were taking too much information, and they went straight onto Twitter and TikTok. Talk about jumping from the frying pan into the fire. We are living in 1984 at this point.
I thought it was 1983 because 84 is coming, or we're in 84 now.
None of the
it's
the
confusing.
Orwell.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's a little confusing.
Orson Welles, whatever.
Oh, yeah, George Orwell. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Orwell.
And remember, 1984 isn't supposed to be a guide for mistakes.
Okay. Can we get serious for a moment?
All right,
can we get serious for a moment?
I want to focus.
Let's.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have Soylent Green now.
We do, don't we?
We do.
It's a fantastic, non-biodegradable.
You can't fucking rate this.
Where's it come from?
Nobody knows. Oh, what's that? We're wiping out the homeless population. Oh,
how odd! It's weird that's happening, and we got this non-genetic.
If people
laboratory meats.
If people start to, if people say you have to put a gem in your fucking hand, that's enough. All right.
You just beat me to that by 2 seconds. I was gonna say you can put a gem in your hand now,
and if some fucking weirdo with a mullet runs up to you and says put on the glasses, just put on the damn glasses.
Oh,
we're hitting a stride of 80s movies right now. It's crazy.
Actually, I think the movies you're talking about, I think were more 60s and 70s and 80s, especially Soylent Green, Logan's Run, and 1984 came out in the 80s. So
I'm pretty sure They Live came out in the 80s.
Yeah, They Live most definitely. So we got two
mullets everywhere.
I miss Rowdy Piper.
The funny story about that movie.
Which funny story do you got for us?
Apparently the director, because Roddy Piper went to the director and was like, well, I need a backstory for this guy. I need to know his motivations. I need to know what makes him tick. And so the director's like, you know what? Go ahead and just make one up.
Sounds about right.
He's like, don't let me know what it is. Just go ahead and make one up. And apparently he did. Roddy made up an entire backstory, made up an entire thing for this guy, and he never told a soul. He took it to the grave. No, he took it to the grave.
That cheeky little fucking bastard. And in his mind's eye, it would be absolutely epic in every way.
It was. I mean, it was so good. It was just so good.
Trivia question for you, Crumb. What was Ryder Rice Piper next movie after they lived? Do you remember?
Oh goodness, I don't know.
Hell Comes to Frogtown. And the premise is this. The world itself is no longer to be able to procreate
Right.
except for one person, and that's Rowdy Piper. And
Oh
he's
my
got a
God.
padlock on his crotch so no one else could get in there by accident or vice versa. And the whole story is about basically people trying to keep him safe and stuff like that, because when he's gone, that's it. And of course, it all takes place in Frogtown or something like that.
Well, I have come to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I am all out of bubblegum.
Can't put lipstick on a pig.
I'm pretty sure he actually forgot what his lines were, and he just made that up.
Probably.
Because I think that's what that was. The hilarious story behind that famous line was he walked in there and he blanked on his line, so he just made something up.
You know who the director of that was, right?
I can't remember.
You got the Google handy?
I have the Google handy.
Well, let's have a handy dandy on the Googler. Oh, your favorite internet search.
John Carpenter.
Yes, I actually interviewed John Carpenter. It was absolutely fantastic. And he turned around and said, "Wow, you're really good at this." I went, "That's praise, sir. Thank you so very much." And he was being very genuine with that statement. It's like, yes.
Yeah, he's a
John-
legend.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. And that's a great conversation I had with him back in the day at the fan expos. The video is currently hiding on my channel because I don't want people to pollute it with stupid stuff.
You gotta share that. You gotta share that with the masses.
I want to share some stuff, but right now I'm not quite sure you've been paying attention. I've been hearing right now YouTube is doing a lot of crazy stupid stuff recently. It seems to be like a little stupidness over here and a little stupidness over there and a little stupidness over here. It's like,
Well, I mean,
my
that's
goodness.
the history of the internet, though. Right.
This is true, and I would agree full-heartedly, but it's just recently on the YouTube, it seemed to be the stupidness is kind of cranked up a little bit more than usual. So it's like, wow, okay. Like there's a person that follows me on Twitter, and somehow YouTube is deleting her comments or moving stuff around or something like that. I'm like, oh my.
Yeah,
goodness.
it happens. I mean, like it's everywhere, though. You can't escape it. It's everywhere.
You cannot escape the stupidness.
There's no escape.
So tell me a little bit more about that intro that you created there. Like, what was the whole inspiration behind that stuff?
Well, I'm sure that if people saw it, it's Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's you gotta watch Empress season exactly. No, it's Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, I just wanted to do something spooky, and I guess I do a pretty darn good Foxy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. People out there gotta let me know, but
I think it's good.
Yeah.
So
that was a pretty good intro.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to do something a bit spooky, and basically the inspiration was from the games. So if people don't know, Five Nights at Freddy's, I think it was VR. They released a Halloween thing, and you could go through Foxy's like pirate adventure thing, and so like I kind of took the intro, inspiration. I didn't rip anything directly from it, but I took the inspiration from that.
Gotcha.
Then the whole music box thing. When the power goes out in the original Five Nights at Freddy's, when the power goes out in the original Five Nights at Freddy's, like the power shuts off, everything goes dark, everything's quiet, and then you hear the music box, like the song that was playing, and you see Freddy's eyes light up to the music. Dun, 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 dun. And then like when the music, because you have until the music stops to survive. So if you can make it to 6 a.m., you survive. But if the music stops, and then he jump scares you, which was the intro. So.
Oh goodness. Well, it's kind of funny. I consider myself to be an individual that doesn't scare myself too often. But if I was like in a dark room, and I heard that song playing, we could screaming like a little schoolgirl, like
you
for
shitting
hours.
your fucking pants.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh my god, no, I'm sorry.
You're shitting your pants. Yeah, the sounds. So like the little voices. Aside from the Foxy voice, because I voiced that myself, but the little kid voice was BB from Five Nights at Freddy's 2,
That was a
Hello.
delicious touch, by the way. That was really, really well done. It's like, jeez, Jiminy's.
Yeah, that was good. I'm gonna upload that separately because I like that video. I like that intro. It was good.
No, it's good. It's good. You
And,
did darn good there, Crumb.
Yeah, and I took the inspiration. I think it was from Five Nights at Freddy's 3, when the animatronics start having when they're like withered and stuff like that. Or it might have been 2 when they had like the withered animatronics. But when they start having the voice glitches, that's super easy to do, by the way.
Yeah.
So you're just you just record your voice normally, and then you copy. Usually like hard, so like F's or T's.
Yeah.
Because those usually sound the best, and then you copy the inch, like the little half a second of that, and then you paste it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then you get the audio glitches. It's really, really, really cool. I love audio engineering. I love voice acting. So
yeah, I know you do,
stuff.
and you do good at it. Because if you suck, I'll be the first person in line to tell you such as you're kicking me in the head.
Well, I think I sufficiently creeped the crap out of everybody in that intro.
Oh yeah, I think it did done good. Now, speaking of more creepiness, have you heard what's happening in the local movie scene, or old horror IPs recently? They want to re-release Nightmare on Elm Street for a second time.
Well, they can't make it any worse than the reboot was.
Oh, yes, they can.
No,
my dear Crumb,
they literally can't.
They want to extrapolate Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and use it as a premise moving forward with things. And they want to turn a nightmare monster into someone who's gay.
I mean, sure. I don't care. I really don't care. Like, Freddy is supposed to be a monster, so it's just like whatever.
Freddy is a pedophile.
Exactly.
I've forgotten about this. It's sort of like, hey, I got this great idea. What's that? Let's make Freddy Krueger more scary.
Well, I mean, if they want to take the Kevin Spacey approach to it and have him live his life as a gay man, then
stop. Just fucking stop. Crumb, that into itself will be scary. So who would get play Freddy? Kevin Spacey. Okay, done. Just print money. It's done.
Man, can you imagine if he actually took that? That'd be great.
Fuck. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be
People
great.
start going missing on the set.
Where's
Jimmy?
It's like a real life Freddy Krueger, though.
Well, you heard what happened with his court case. People started to go missing.
Well, all the witnesses just died.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened with Jimmy? I don't know.
I want to play a game.
That's what happened. They're in a fucking meat packing warehouse somewhere.
Yep, wet work is
missing a
done.
foot.
What's that? You woke up this morning and you found yourself in an old icebox factory place with a hacksaw, and you're chained up with someone.
Jesus, Jones.
Welcome to Kevin Spacey world.
My goodness. Well, we've rambled a little bit here.
We did.
It's okay though. All relevant stuff. So we have a bit of a show today. Also, I wanted to let people know, just in case you haven't seen the announcement yet, we are going to have a special show on Monday because it's a holiday.
That's
we
right.
have nothing, and we literally have no lives and nothing better to do.
Stop. We're not losers. No, we're winners. We broadcast on all the holidays because our family hates us.
Well, no, that's not the case. But no, I've invited Critical Blast on the show. We're going to be talking.
Awesome.
Because I've missed like 3 or 4 of his fucking shows about the Whisper Network. So I'm like, you know what?
Oh, have you? I was invited on a show last Wednesday.
Oh, I know.
Like he's performances on the
he's been
Blast channel, of course.
He's been inviting me like every time that he's been talking about it, but like I've been at work every single time, so I couldn't do it.
That's exactly what RG asked me. He says, "Can Chris come on the show?" I went, "Well, you have to ask her, but she works, and by the time that she gets home, she just wants to put her head in the toilet and cry for an hour. So she needs her alone time." And she goes, "Oh okay."
It's like I literally get home and he's finishing the show.
Yeah, no, it definitely talked about the Whisper Network. And a
So
lot of, and the thing is that in theme with our show today, definitely a lot of scary stuff happening with that. Honestly, it's like
yeah. So
Wow.
we're going to be talking about the Whisper Network. We're going to be talking about our own local Whisper Network.
we have one.
Yeah, well,
Is it a
Toronto has
secret?
one. Toronto has one. So we're going to be talking about that. Hello, Action Toys channel. How you doing?
Hey,
So we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be discussing the bigger Whisper networks and blah blah blah, and how to fight back, because you know what we did.
oh, we did lots of things. What did
We did a little thing. We did a little thing called Kitchener Comic Con.
Kitchener has a comic book.
We fought back against our local Splinter Cell Whisper network, and we kicked their ass.
choke slam them all the way to hell.
As Mike Walters says, I hear voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me.
And up from
Exactly.
nowhere.
RKO out of nowhere.
My God!
RKO.
The most dangerous apex predator in the WWE to date. Oh! Now you got me going on that. Did you hear that Randy Keith Orton is going to be going for his 12th, 30th run as WWE champion?
Good Lord.
No, it gets even better. He goes on Raw on Monday, and he basically says, I had a dream that I was champion again. Now I want it. Just like that.
Fucking good for him. Like
there you
honestly,
go. Go get it, kid. You'll be fine.
Good for him.
Exactly. And of course, well, the super talent they got floating around in the WWE these days. Are you going to say no to Randall with AEW in the background? Oh God, that's scary.
Yeah. So no, that's set for Monday. We're going to talk about our run-in with our local Whisper network. So tune in for that. Probably going to be about 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern. I don't know. Keep an eye out for the notification.
Yeah, we got it through our social media stuff. So
we'll do it.
If you're not on Crumb, we'll do it. Do it. Do it. So yeah, lots of stuff going on with that. Oh, did you hear the other scary thing?
Crinkling over there.
I'm just fucking around with shit. Sorry.
That's mic abuse.
That's the funny thing is that okay. One of the few things I'm going to tell you, Crumb, this mic is one of the best mics ever because with Critical Blast and listen to all these different style potato microphones, this thing just plugs in, boom, boom, you're done, no problem.
You see, that's what I'm saying. Like, let me just rant here for a fucking moment.
You may have the floor, madame.
Everybody out here is using these fucking Yeti microphones and these fucking like super $3,000 studio fucking hang from the ceiling microphones and fucking like next space age bullshit. You can write upside down microphones. I literally went and grabbed. So I had this microphone back when I bought Rock Band.
Yep.
Fucking during the Jurassic era because it came out that long ago.
Uh-huh.
And it has been the best microphone I have literally ever owned. So I went out to a pawn store and I bought 4 more at $3 a piece.
Sorry.
And one of which Mr. Hop is using right now. So all you have to do is plug this motherfucker into a USB port and it's good. It goes. It does all the stuff. It has the noise suppression shit already. I mean, I have like a thing over top of my microphone. If you guys, I'm sure if you've seen some of my old stuff, I've actually posted pictures where it's literally just a sock with a fucking like pair of stockings stretched over it as as a pop filter.
Yeah.
So like literally pennies to start for this setup here.
And one of the few things about yours truly, as we mentioned several times before, I worked in both television, film, and radio. And the thing is that when you get a microphone, you got to plug it into your actual soundboard. You got to make sure the noise levels is done. It really takes a lot of effort. Plus, until they got conversions from back and forth to different ports. When Crumb gave me this thing or loaned it to me or whatever, just plug it in, done.
Just bop done.
Yeah, exactly.
Like literally, Mr. Hop has a fucking soundboard that takes up an entire desk
Well,
in his
no.
office. In his office.
TV tray,
Oh,
sure.
bullshit.
TV tray. Oh, okay. If you want a board
Bullshit.
that big, I could get one from the fucking studio.
And
but it's
like,
not that big.
Here he is, like, fucking adapters and fucking wires and fucking things everywhere.
But it's working.
Have to spend
It works.
45 minutes to set it up and get the sound levels correct. You know what I have to do?
Because
You know what I have to do for my goddamn microphone? Plug it in. Done.
And on top of that, the thing is that Crumb's seen the studio when it was back in its prime. We had multiple cameras around the whole 9 yards. And the thing is, that's just the whole aspect of broadcasting. But today, I just got my laptop. I got a rock band mic, and it's really funny because a lot of these people that come online now, they got their like $2,000 Yeti mics that they can't look at sideways. If it does, it's going to shatter them by accident. And it's like, boop, plug it, done. I almost want to send Jennings one of these things, but
like fucking seriously though, I will fucking buy the entire stock of rock band microphones that are in secondhand shops everywhere, and I will mail them out personally to everyone that's using a fucking potato to talk through.
It's starting to get that point because again, a Critical Blast is this really nice guy named Jason, I think his name was, living in the States. Yeah, no, not RJ. It's well, one of his guests.
Oh, the
Lee.
guy that,
No, it was
the
Lee.
guy that
It was
was
Lee.
Lee.
Yeah, Lee.
Lee
And the
that
thing
was
is
on
that
the show.
he's a really sweet, really nice guy, and he's got a lot of insight. I'm like, oh my goodness, what? No. And he's getting in the conversation.
Rip earphone users.
Yeah, it's like, oh goodness. So,
Yeah.
Again, basically have mirror the equipment with the other equipment you're using. You know, if you go too far off to left field, it doesn't all connect together, and you're going to be there for hours.
Well,
Just
there's
ask,
a lot of stuff
just
that
ask
you can
Jennings.
do. There's a lot of stuff you can do even in post production, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I have Audition, I have all that fun stuff for audio editing. There's tons of stuff you can do, tons of tricks you can do, and it's very, very, very simple. You don't need like fucking studio quality shit. Like even if you're doing like a massive, huge like productions and stuff, like, you don't need.
It all depends on what you're doing. Honestly, it does. I think for light stuff we're doing here, equipment we're using is fine. It's perfect, not a problem. But once you start getting this super duper heavy studio stuff, it's like, yeah, you need to start getting tweaking in there and stuff like that.
No,
So-
it's opinion. I would say it's opinion.
Oh, it's opinion, is it?
It's just like we're talking about the differences between iPhones at this point. There's minuscule differences.
There's that. There's that. It
Minuscule
depends-
differences.
It all depends what you're working on, friend. You know that. But however, yeah. So yeah, great mic. Highly recommend picking it up. As Crumb said, it's only $3 versus $300. And if you don't like it, you can always just throw it away or give it to someone else who likes Rock Band. There you go. Christmas gift and something that's useful rolled into one.
Siren Jag is back at work. Say a prayer for them. Will do, buddy.
Awesome.
No, I guess we can start diving into the topic of today's show.
Yeah. We've been dancing around with this and that and putting more scary stuff on it. So, Crumb, what do we have under the hood today?
We're going to be talking a little bit because I know like we were talking about some ghost stuff and all that stuff last time and kind of got really heavy into the EVP side of things, but I wanted to get into a bit more of the spooky stuff, the weird stuff, the paranormal, etc., etc. Because there's people. I guess this is probably a good one to start with here. Just the other day, kind of sparked my intrigue about this because someone was sending me a story about how they went to, I can't remember where the hell it was, somewhere in Ontario. They were talking about it. They went there and they saw shadow people in the forest, and I'm like, that's a term I haven't heard in a hot minute. That's a term I haven't heard in a hot minute.
I agree.
That's a topic that's actually near and dear to me because that's shit that I've saw when I was a kid. And like that's stuff that kind of got me intrigued later on in life, I guess I would say. Scared the shit out of me when I was a child, but when I was older, it kind of brought me some intrigue, and kind of a personal story. But when I first, basically when I was a bit older, because I saw this shit when I was like 7, 8, 9. When I was older, because I didn't tell anybody about this, but I was like 16, 17, 18 about this time. I was sharing, because we were talking about spooky stuff and scary stories, and it was, I can't remember what the hell holiday it was, but it was some family holiday, visiting my grandmother, and all this other stuff.
St. Patrick's Day.
Could have been a Tuesday. I don't know. But so I was sharing these spooky stories with them, and I was talking about shadow people.
Okay.
And
what is the shadow person for people?
I'll get to that. I'll get to that
cool.
in a moment. Let's finish this story first. So I was talking about shadow people because I think the topic of "Are you afraid of the dark" came up for some reason, because that was a show that I used to watch all the time when I was like middle, probably like 10, 11, 12. So that topic came up on a blah blah blah, and I started talking about shadow people, and my grandmother just turned like white as a sheet. She got really quiet. And and I'm just like telling everybody, and they're all just like, "Oh, well, that's really strange, blah blah blah." And my grandmother was just like, "I haven't told anybody this my entire life." She's like, "But I used to see that stuff when I was little." Mm-hmm. She said that there used to be a man that would stand at the foot of her bed with a wide brimmed hat and just stand there and stare at her, and then would just disappear. So this is what's super weird. So for people out there who don't know what shadow people are, they're exactly what they sound like. They're shadow people. It's like picture a silhouette of a person, right? It's just imagine like they were wearing a black morph bodysuit. Like there's just no defining features at all. You can't see any facial features. You can't see any clothing, anything like that. It's just pitch black from head to toe. You can see fingers, like you can tell fingers, you can tell hands, you can tell feet. Sometimes they're wearing clothing. Some people report that it's either a woman, like a really, really tall woman, or a really, really tall man that's wearing a hat. And sometimes people report seeing red eyes. But they're usually in the peripheral of your vision. Some people report them at night standing in the doorway. Some people report them at night standing at the foot of their bed, staring at them from the corner of the room. Really, really, really creepy stuff. And I don't know if you watched Are You Afraid of the Dark, Mr. Hop? That was a great television program. Are you still with us?
I guess I'm still here.
Looks like you had a heart attack halfway.
Oh no! It's okay. I'm just trying to add some ambience to your story here by not moving for an hour.
Yeah. Well, we don't have Toye on the show, so there's.
Sorry, forgot. Happens. So, anyways, yeah. So, You're Afraid of the Dark. Great Canadian production.
Yeah, it was a wonderful Canadian production.
Highly recommend.
But I also have to say, fuck you. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
All right. From love to absolute hate, 8.2 seconds.
I also have to say that because there was one show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember what the fucking guy's name was. He was the magic shop owner.
Is it AJ Fry?
No. He was the magic shop owner, like the guy that always sold the kids like magic shit that always like monkey pawed on them.
Oh, that's great.
Like you remember, like he sold that one. He sold that one chick the door, the little toy door. When she opened it up, she saw the future. Oh, and it was always bad shit happening.
That's always awesome when the monkey paw is involved.
Man,
all of your wishes could come true, but there might be a catch.
I have to look it up. Are you afraid of the dark?
There you go.
Magic shop. I have to look up his name real quick. Sardo.
Okay.
Sardo. So it was a Sardo episode. It was a Sardo tale. Sardo for those who are looking it up. There was a pair of glasses, a pair of 3D glasses that Sardo had in his magic shop. Right. He was marketing as quote unquote X-ray glasses.
Oh.
Right. They were X-ray glasses. And you could see blah, blah,
3D.
See the unseen.
All right.
Blah, blah, blah.
That's a little scary.
He ended up selling this pair to like a little boy or something like that.
Oh.
And so the boy put on the glasses. Of course, they were just 3D glasses. It's nothing, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, "Well, these are junk. I don't see. It's whatever. This is crap." So
shit.
Just before he was going to throw them out, he put them on, and he started seeing shadow people everywhere. And these people were actually wearing black like morph suits, like like the theater productions when they wear like head to toe black. Yeah, they were wearing those suits. But he would see those people everywhere, and he would take off the glasses and they were gone. And he'd put them on and they would just be in his face and they'd be like searching all over him and all this stuff. It was creepy as fuck. Literally the fucking number one show out of that, because there was two of them. There was that fucking weird ass arcade one where the fucking computer virus was infecting a kid. That was weird. He's in a giant pinball machine. That was a fucking creepy ass episode. But this one was number one.
Okay.
This one was number one. So yeah, that was super duper. Because that fucking shocked me. Because I saw that shit before I saw Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Gotcha. So where's residuals?
I know. Where's my fucking money?
Bitches.
Where's my fucking money? So here's a creepy story.
Okay.
And this happened in the middle of the day, right? Because these don't just happen at night. So we had a little puppy. She was a Siberian Husky puppy, and she was ram fucking bunctious. She was a little ball of energy.
That's cool.
She was hilarious. She was such a little firecracker. Like there was a dog that was next door, and she jumped over the fence and this fence was like 7 feet high.
Well, yeah, they usually are.
She jumped over the fence to go play with the other dog, and she was a puppy. She's crazy. She's crazy.
Wow.
So we had her in our backyard. And basically we had the gate locked up all the time because she would always like to run out and go play with other dogs.
Yeah.
So she was in the backyard, and the door to the backyard was a big sliding glass door. Okay. And I was really little at this time. Like I was like 7 or 8. Okay. I was super young, but I remember this like it was yesterday. So I just been standing at the back door. Middle of the day. It was like noon. It was like the sun was out. It was hot. It was a summer, beautiful day. And normally, the puppy was like running around the yard or wherever else. She was cowering in her doghouse, which is in the back corner of the yard for some reason. Okay. So I don't know what I was thinking as a kid.
You're a kid, so
I'm just a kid. So I'm just standing at the door, like I'm just like staring at the dog because she's hiding in the doghouse, and I see something run like fucking Mach speed from the doghouse, and this thing was about as tall as the fence. It was completely head to toe black. I'm not talking black man. I'm talking like silhouette shadow. Okay. I saw something run from the doghouse along like beside the fence all the way to where the gate was, and I heard the gate open. So me being my stupid 7-year-old self, opened the sliding door and walked outside, and I walked around the corner, and this gate was like 7 feet high, right? Like there's no way that 7-year-old me could reach the top of the gate to hit the switch to open the gate, right?
Yeah.
So here I am staring at an open gate, and my mom is at the end of the driveway, like 30 feet away, mouth wide open, because here I'm standing at a fucking open gate with the fucking gate wide open, and she has no idea, number one, how the gate got open, number two, how I opened it. She had no idea. So, and she didn't see anything, which was really weird. So that shit stuck with me for a very, very long time. And
I almost feel like a reenactment from like Stephen King movie or something.
I know. Now, Action Toys Channel says, I've had some similar happen to me. Sometimes I wake up, look around my room, and I notice a person shrouded in shadow sitting in the corner. When I notice them, they seem to wake up in surprise. They look at me, tilt their head to the side, and I get the impression this person is wondering, does this person really see me? I turn over and just say, if you're going to just sit there, then drift back to sleep. That's wild stuff.
That's crazy.
It's wild
That's
stuff.
crazy.
And Mike is saying, maybe you're having a genetic predisposition towards seeing the supernatural. Well, I've had several. I take these with a grain of salt, too, by the way. I have several mediums and psychics tell me that I possess like really, really powerful, like sensitive abilities that I'm able to see, like that I'm able to like. They're able to pick that up on me, and I will admit that I've had some very unexplained things happen, where I just have knowledge of something, or I just know something, or I just feel something, or what have you. So, I've had moments like that. There was one point at work, where a woman I used to work with, she was having a really bad day because I think she had just lost her dog or something like that.
Oh.
I think her dog had passed away, or it was like the anniversary of her dog passing away or something like that. So she was having. All right, we're back.
That was fucking perfect timing. I know boomer stuff like this is frustrating as all fuck, but I gotta tell you, timing of that was awesome.
I know.
We're telling stories that we should not tell, and the creatures of the supernatural have gotten into the internets. So what happened on your end, Crumb? Did we completely go blank or what?
It kicked us both out.
Awesome.
Like, I guess the internet just had a hiccup. I don't know. Like the internet's been acting really fucking weird lately.
I think that's great timing. I can't wait to see the playback from all of that.
I know. From what I understand, it just like we just both disappeared, and the stream was still going. We just both got kicked.
That's awesome. That really is awesome, especially for this type of show and what we're talking about. Especially
I know,
shadow
right?
people and everything else like that. All right. So where do we leave off there?
I'm trying to think.
Okay, we talked about
Where
the
did we
puppy.
leave off? Talked about the puppy.
Yeah, we talked about. Oh goodness gracious!
Oh, like medium shit. Oh, right. I know.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
So, I was at work with the lady, and
Yes.
she was telling me about how sad she was about her dog,
Yeah.
and all this other stuff, and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay. So I had this feeling, this like overwhelming message that I needed to tell her, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't understand why. I'm like, this is weird. Okay. I'm like, basically the best I can describe it was that something was telling me that I needed to relay a message to her, that that to give her like big wide armed hug, blah 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 blah. I had to give her that not to be sad, that she's like blah blah blah. It's like a bunch of different stuff, and I'm like, this is weird. And I'm like, is this something about her dog? Like about always being with her? I'm like, I don't know. So I sat on it for like the whole shift. And then as I was going home on the bus, I sent her a message on Facebook. I basically just puked out my thought on it. I'm like, take this for what you will. I don't know why it is, but here you go. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the message. You know, big, wide open hug, you know, always with you, you know, don't be sad, you know, blah, 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 blah. Live your life, be happy, blah, blah, blah. And a few hours later, because she was asleep at that point, and the next morning she messages me back. She's like, "How the fuck did you know?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "How the fuck did you know?" She's like, "I didn't tell a soul." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Well, yesterday." She's like, "Yesterday was the anniversary of my mom passing away. How did you know that?" And she's like, "How did you know that? Like my mom gave me like these big, like huge bear hugs and blah 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 blah. And this is stuff that she would always say to me, and yada yada." I'm like, "This is just what I was told."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wasn't told by a person. I'm like, this is just like it just popped into my brain space. So
Little nugget there.
yeah,
Gotcha.
So.
I have a bit of a scary story. It's not quite as scary as any of that. It was more of my own active imagination.
Yeah.
When I was when I was younger, well, still am, but I used to watch a lot of horror movies. And one of the few horror movies I really liked a lot as a kid was John Carpenter's The Thing. And my uncle used to have an apartment on top of a corner store. And of course, in that corner store, they rented out videos. And my uncle, because he was a bit of an asshole, says, "Hey, do you want to see a horror movie?" Of course, I go, "Yeah, sure, that's awesome, sounds great." So he gets the thing, like, "Oh, I saw this movie already." And they go, "Well, I haven't seen it." So we go back and forth with that for a while. But of course, we rent the thing in, we pop it, and we start watching it and stuff like that. And of course, nothing really changed since last time I saw it, which is great. Then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but I basically envisioned that the head creature that falls off the person and sprouts out legs and starts walking around and stuff like that was actually in my uncle's apartment.
Oh Lord!
And of course, I'm watching this thing, and of course, it's basically crawling around like this and looking around. Like, I know that's how. Of course, I am freaking the fuck out, and of course, I just start screaming like a little schoolgirl, going, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And then my uncle wakes me up. He goes, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "You were sleeping when the movie was on." Because I have that problem sometimes when I watch something too many times, just out like that. So when I was a kid, I was envisioning this fucking creature was alive and running through my uncle's apartment, and I couldn't do a goddamn thing. You want to talk about peeing your pants when you're a kid? Oh, there it is. Thank goodness all the dream was just, and the thing is, it's just as sappy as they have it in the movies. You know, when someone wakes up from like a waking dream type of thing.
Yeah,
and it's the exact same thing. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious! But that's probably the most scariest dream that I can remember. There's other ones too, but I can't really remember verbatim. But that's the one that sort of like really stuck with me. For you. Yeah, man. Like,
it's so crazy. Like all this like crazy weird shit that comes up. Phoenix Orem is in the chat. I have a story that Phoenix wanted me to share. I'm probably going to use my spooky voice to read it here. So
okay,
just be 1 second.
Sure.
Boop.
Boop. Okay, this is scary. What is this?
So you guys can read along with me here. So this is Rebecca's concrete grave. I don't know if this is true or not, but I mean this does sound like something that would happen in this particular thing. So let me just turn on my spooky voice.
All right.
Gotcha.
Rebecca's concrete grave. Back in the days when family farms dominated, a harsh year tainted the lives of the populace of southeastern New Brunswick. It had been a dry summer, the sort that leaves fields and forest primer for sudden fires. Several farms lost buildings and crops to the flames that fall, and what produce remained in the local fields grew poorly. Compounding the difficulties, consumption, nowadays better known as tuberculosis, began to creep into the province, claiming its early victims before year's end. Desperate times often breed questionable behaviors. By winter's arrival, animals had begun disappearing from the barns. The picked-over remains found as evidence that they had been slaughtered. From a modern, and it's worth noting, uninvolved perspective, the logical conclusion would be the hungry farmers had taken what they could to keep food available. However, life was very different in New Brunswick during the 1870s. During the cold months, small towns and cities were virtually isolated from the larger world, save for what little contact came via letters and newspapers. People put more stake in traditional ways, to be honest, old world superstitions. The local families arrived, for the most part, as immigrants from the Dutch, Irish, German, and British lower classes. In some cases, former peasants and factory workers drawn in by the promise of land ownership. Most folks living in the area at the time of Rebecca Lute's story were either direct descendants of these settlers or from Acadian and Micmac communities. All came from a background where unusual events could be during a cold winter, rattled by a plague and famine, explained as evidence of evil forces at work. Before long, residents were reporting strange lights floating in the sky alongside the road. Rumors spread about demonic rituals. It was proposed a witch must be working in the city. As evidence were the animals stolen and killed to provide blood for her spells. How do we get whispers of witchcraft to the blame centering on a local girl named Rebecca Lutz is unclear. The story jumps right to near her death. It is said that she was hung from the branch of a large poplar tree, after which she was cut down and buried at the base of her makeshift gallows. Now we have to remember the locals feared a dead witch almost as much as a living one. The only benefit to killing the witch was that her movements could now be better controlled. To this end, Rebecca was buried face down. The idea being if she were to try and dig herself free of the grave, she would claw her way downward rather than toward her surface. Even this precaution was insufficient for the more rattled among the local populace. Several men returned a few days later to cover Rebecca's grave with a layer of concrete, thereby sealing her permanently. A good modern retelling of Rebecca Lute's story often concludes with a visit to the grave itself. A drive out to Gorge Road near Moncton, stopping just before the old quarry and cement factory, will bring you to the spot where Rebecca is claimed to rest. Just to the side of the road, there's a patch of concrete, as promised. Once, there were still farm buildings in the distance, but they've fallen from age and neglect. Pity, as there have been no more reports of moans or whispers since the buildings fell. However, the slab of concrete is still intact, and it has been, by far, the better hauntings. Some people claim to see a black cat that sits atop the grave, looking quite real, only to disappear moments later. Others report what looks like bloodstains on the concrete at times, but catching a glimpse of these is tricky, as the blood never lasts long enough for anyone to return with witnesses. By far the most commonly reported phenomenon is lights passing across the grave. So, is Rebecca buried beneath the concrete at the roadside? That's hard to know. Records show that Rebecca Lutz did die on January 2nd, 1876, but that she was only a 16-year-old farm girl. Also, she did not die by hanging, but from tuberculosis. There is no indication that she had gotten up to evil doings, nor that she was suspected of such. There is a second story that goes with the witch legend, one that explains the grave thusly. The later owner of the Lutz farm was annoyed to discover that under provincial law he was responsible for the grave of deceased Rebecca, who was buried following her natural death on the family property. His solution was to cover the grave with concrete to keep vandals out. He then fenced the spot off from the rest of his field to prevent him from running into it with his plow and ruining his blade. The other, more prosaic explanation is that no one is buried at the supposedly haunted spot. The concrete was simply dumped there for unknown reasons by an employee of the culvert factory up the road. In this scenario, the story of Rebecca Lutz's grave is nothing more than a scary invention inspired by a mysterious glob of concrete. But don't bother trying to sway the story's fans with such negative solutions. Rebecca has become a local legend, our very own dark witch. Hundreds, if not thousands, of teenagers have driven out to see Rebecca's concrete-covered tomb. Her grave is an oddly proud part of the city's history.
And there you have it. It was a creepy, creepy story.
Oh yeah, that definitely was. It's like, hey, come on down, see the concrete slab, buy a T-shirt. Because this one grave, it gives 15% of that little town's GOP every single year. Wow.
Pretty crazy, though.
Well, the thing is, I want to go down to one of those Jurassic Park X-ray machines, the one that goes ping, and just have a look at this thing, see what's down there. But that's definitely crazy. Like, okay, we got this 16-year-old girl. All right, go on. We're going to hang her from a tree. Bit rough. And when she dies, why? We're going to bury her. Okay, I like that part. Upside down. What? And then we're going to pour concrete on her, not once but twice. What did she do?
I mean, isn't that interesting, though? I mean, you could take elements of that story. You could apply that today, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, it's pretty crazy. Like, it's like, oh, well, she was a witch on social media, so we have to burn her down. And she died of coronavirus.
I was just going to say, 1870. Where's the internet? Why are people separated?
She died of natural causes.
Yeah, strangulation. No air in the lungs. That's kind of pretty natural, and that takes place.
I mean, if you die on a tree, is that technically natural causes?
Well, the tree's growing, right?
Nature cause.
Yeah. Well, gravity. That's very nature. It's sort of the rope that kind of slows and stops the descent all the way to the bottom. So, I don't know. It just goes to show how spooky people can get fairly quickly. And the better question is that do you think that a lot of this, I wouldn't say rhetoric, but what's the word we're looking for here? people getting scared like that still around today's time, or do you think people are more level headed because the internet's
we're seeing it today.
You think so?
Look at the hysteria this pandemic has caused.
Well, there's that.
Literal hysteria.
There's nothing more scary. It's like, hey, let's put all of your medical records online and just track you somewhere some Sunday. Sure, no problem. But yeah,
it's so crazy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely scary stuff. But it'd be interesting if mobs still form that quickly and burying someone 7 feet down, upside down, and pouring concrete on them a few times.
Just for good measure.
Yeah, exactly.
Good Lord.
I really think the second time, it's like, okay, what's going on here? We have to put more concrete on this grave. Why? Because it's scaring people. All right.
Yeah. This is scary and I don't understand it.
Seal it in concrete for a second time. What? All right. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I have to spray this fucking thing, and I don't want to give ASMR to people here of the spray can going off every 5 minutes.
No, that's awesome. Shoe flies, don't bother me.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Crumb, welcome back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that came from Phoenix.
That came from Phoenix Orem.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for that, Phoenix Orem. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's one of our Patreon subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
If you have not already checked out the Patreon, y'all should. I mean, we have an exclusive Discord for Patreon members and Twitch subscribers. If you're subscribed on Twitch, on twitch.tv/Crumbreon, you can subscribe for free with Twitch Prime.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Patreon, you heard what's happening recently?
Oh my goodness, Patreon is in some trouble.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Reminds me of the Monty Python skit. If a witch weighs the same as a duck, you drown them. So it's like, oh my goodness, because they're in so much caca.
That just means that they need more people to subscribe to our Patreon. Well, that's all that means.
Exactly.
Right.
And they gotta do it soon.
The links are down. The links are down below for anyone who wants to check out the Patreon. The top tier of the Patreon nets you a guaranteed spot on the show. We can actually host up to 10 people on the show now, which is wild.
God. Just imagine 5 more of us, 2 apiece. Right? Jesus, that'd be crazy. It'd be one hell of a party, that's for sure.
Like, holy crap! Yeah. No, that'd be pretty cool. Gelth apparently killed a kangaroo last night.
Savage. Who? What? What's this?
Gelth Walker.
Oh yeah.
It's brutal.
He killed a kangaroo.
Apparently.
With his fists? Did he like box with it?
I mean, I don't know.
I heard that kangaroos are pretty tough boxers, and they cheat with a big giant tail and kick you in the nads and stuff. Like, craziness.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so crazy.
Wow.
But no, so yeah, the whole shadow people thing was really interesting. That the whole fascination, in the 1800s, right? The Salem witch trials and the the witch hunts, where the modern term witch hunt comes from, because like you're going after people with literally no evidence, just like circumstantial and and anecdotal evidence. Like, holy crap.
And even scarier back in the Dark Ages, like, oh, so you eat tree bark to get rid of a headache. That's some really nice property you got there. Be ashamed if someone would call you a witch and the church just, develops your property. That'd be an awful shame. Awful shame. So it'd be given to God recently.
Terrible shame. It'd be a terrible shame.
Had it been given to God recently? What? No. Oh, heretic. No, that's pretty scary.
And Gelth Walker saying another deplatformed Patreon person is now launching a lawsuit against them.
Oh, really?
There you go.
That's interesting. Because I heard they got a class action on their hands or something like that type of thing.
Yeah. Well,
Bunch
I
of
don't know if it's
people's-
class action.
Yeah, a bunch of people's went, we don't like Patreon.
I
And
know
we
they have.
have,
I know they have a lawsuit against like one person, which they're horrifically losing.
yeah.
I don't think it's a class action though. I think it's just individuals,
Okay. I thought it was class
which
action.
is going to
Yeah.
cost them a lot more money.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Gel says he ran his ass down. So he went full twisted metal on him.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go.
Twisted metal.
There you go.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah. No, it's
So do you have-
it's so interesting.
So, do you have any more spooky stories for us, Crumb?
It's paranormal stuff. I like talking about mediumship.
Yeah.
I would like to talk about mediumship
Yeah.
a little bit out there because last time we talked about Ouija boards, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Made by the wonderful people brought you
never.
Transformers.
Well, that's the funny part. Never, ever, 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 ever,
Ever?
ever. Even if you think about it, don't use a Ouija board.
Yeah.
Don't use a Ouija
Yeah.
board.
Yeah. I remember. I remembers.
Yeah, because Ouija boards are a very, very crude method of mediumship.
Yep.
For those who don't know. So, when I'm talking about mediumship, because there's different types of psychics, right?
Mhm.
There's obviously the people that try to read your body language and give you answers based on your body language, like those are the John Edwards, the John Edwards types of people that are not really actually truthful. They're just kind of picking
Kinda
stuff from the
there.
wind.
Yeah.
And then you have the psychics who actually are able to draw information from other sources.
Mm-hmm.
And you have mediums, which are different than just knowing something or guessing something or what have you. Mediums actually invite entities or spirits or beings more intimately with them. So, like, they speak through them, what have you, etc., etc. This is where you get into the dangers of possession and stuff like that, because
Or Ghost from Patrick Swayze.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. So you get into that danger because if you don't have the proper mind to do this, it's difficult to explain in layman's terms. If you don't have a strong enough willpower to keep your own sense of self, you actually run a really, really big risk of losing yourself to whatever is trying to speak through you.
Awesome.
Which
Nothing
is a
like
dangerous...
I was going to say there's nothing like having a spirit in your rent-free.
Well, I mean, there's nothing like, just renting out schizophrenia.
Exactly.
Really nothing
crazy,
quite
so
like
am
it.
I. Oh, yeah.
Really nothing quite like it. I think I talked about the movie Session 9 last time.
Yes, you did.
And
That was a very hidden gem, cool movie.
yeah, it's a very cool movie.
Yep.
And where do you live, Simon? I live in the dark, in the broken, and the hurt.
Oh yeah, basically it puts a whole new spin when it comes to making macaroni and cheese, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness. That's so crazy.
Not overdoing stuff. Oh, what's
Question from Action Toys channel. Have you ever went to sleep and dreamed so vividly that you swear you were there? Then years later, you were there doing the exact same thing you dreamt? Yes, absolutely.
No,
Deja
I
vu.
haven't. I never had that aspect when I dreamed I was somewhere, then showing up there. Yeah,
Deja vu. I've definitely had that.
I've had deja vu a couple of times when I'm actually dreaming, and then all of a sudden, sometime down the line, I'm actually there, type of thing. I haven't had one of those aspects. So
The tapes in that movie, exactly, Randy. Those were fucking freaky as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually based on a true event. That was actually based on something true. But yeah, going back to what Action Toys was saying, I actually did. So back in the old city that I lived in,
Mm-hmm.
I had a very, very, very vivid dream about going to Greece.
Okay.
I literally have never gone to Greece in my life. I've never seen pictures of Greece. Nothing. Oh, excuse me. I had a very, very vivid dream about going to Greece, being on a boat, seeing the shore, seeing the water, jumping off the boat, and then trying to swim to the shore, but I couldn't get up because the shore, like the ground is raised. It's really, really weird. Like you'd have to see a picture. Basically, there's the water, and then there's the edge of the shore, which is flat, which has like little docking things, like little circles on it, and then it's like probably 8 feet from the water. And then it's like hills and mountains, and it has like the buildings that are blue with the whites and whatever else. So I had this image. I'm like, I don't know where the hell I saw it, but I'm like, damn, that's really, really vivid. And I'm like, that was super strange. Literally months later, all right, months later, we had a little Greek store, like a little Greek food, like a restaurant.
Okay. All right.
Open up right next to the video store that I worked at.
Okay.
And so I went to this Greek restaurant like basically every day for lunch. It was great.
Okay.
They had really, really good food. Then a few weeks after they opened up, they wanted to spruce up the place a little bit. So their daughter started painting murals on the walls, and no fucking word of a lie, she painted the exact image, like the exact landscape of where I was in that dream.
That's fucking creepy.
It was so strange. Right down to the boat, right down to the fucking shore with the raised like everything. The fucking road and the mountains.
Freaking the fuck
I
out
saw
of
that. I'm like, where the fuck did you see this? And she's like, well, I was just going by, pictures of Greece, blah blah blah. And like, I was freaked the hell out.
Of course.
I was freaked the hell out. So
Jesus.
That was a really weird one.
You ever seen the movie called 12 Monkeys?
Yes, I love 12 Monkeys.
Same here. Again, 12 Monkeys. It's not supposed to be a documentary. But anyways, when you mentioned it, I had that vision when John Smith is going back to the future.
Yeah.
And they're in the room. You can hear the Hawaiian song playing in the background.
Yeah.
So having that with your vision there, just good combination between the two.
Oh man,
you just walk so good. Like, what the fuck is that? And on top of that, she painted it by hand, right?
Yeah.
So that's even more energy put into that. So,
yeah.
Wow.
It's just like, what are the fucking chances that she picks that exact scene?
Yeah.
Like it was absolutely crazy. Mm-hmm. She was like, oh, I just had inspiration to paint this. I'm like, oh my god, it's so wild.
Yeah. No. Yeah. 100%.
So that's so crazy. But one other thing I wanted to talk about before the show gets too long in the tooth. Mm-hmm. I wanted to talk about. I'm dropping everything here.
Jesus, Crumb.
I know.
We're live on the internets.
I know. I wanted to talk about tarot.
Tarot. All right.
Tarot cards.
You mentioned that.
I wanted to talk about tarot cards because tarot is something that I do every so often. Mm-hmm. I do tarot card readings. And I know people have a really big misconception of tarot, and I'm hoping to clear this up a little bit here. Mm-hmm. Just a tiny bit. Niren is asking a question here. Is it just an image you get? I get really intense deja vu. It seems to recall the image, sound, emotions, and the moment. It really depends for me. When I have deja vu moments, like when I have deja vu dreams, it's usually just like I feel like I'm there, like it's an everyday thing. I'd just be like, I wake up, I'd go to school or whatever else, and I'd be in the classroom, things would be going on, and it seemed really weird because I'm like, well, I'm dreaming. Why am I dreaming about a regular day? Then something happens, and I wake up. And then several weeks later, I'll go to school. I'll be in there. That scene replays exactly as I had dreamed it, right up to the point where it's very, very weird. But yeah, sounds, emotions. Sometimes it's images. Sometimes it's pictures. Sometimes it's just sounds
or it's a crack in the matrix. Mr. Smith is coming.
I mean, it could be.
Whoa.
We're getting the Matrix 4, so...
That's happening, isn't it? That's kind of scary. Because I got to tell you, Bill and Ted 3 is coming out, and I so want it to be a fun movie. I really, really do, because I think we could all use a fun movie at this stage of the game. But Keanu Reeves has grown out of that role. Because every time he talks, I swear he's going to pull a 45 out from somewhere and just go... like, oh my God. Because he's grown so much as an actor. It's like...
He has.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not exactly hard to...
Well, on top of that, he's taken up smoking. So the thing is that
go.
he looks and sounds older now. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's kind of what happens when you start smoking. And he even says that he picked up the habit when he was at a production. So it's like you can't wild style it anymore when you're like sounding like you're 50 and you're playing like an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old or something like that.
Well, I think he's playing older in Bill and Ted, but
yeah. So again, I'm hoping it's fun. That's the biggest thing that I'm walking away from, and I really dig Keanu Reeves. But anyways, I'm distracted.
So back to tarot, back to tarot card readings. So I wanted to clear something up about tarot card readings that people seem to have a misconception about. It's not the person that's reading it that because I don't have when I do tarot card readings, I don't have any influence, nor should I have any influence on what cards come up. It's the cards themselves that have the quirks, that have the stuff going on for them. So I wanted to do a couple tarot card readings for people. If there's anybody in the chat that wants to have like just a generic tarot card reading done, I'm happy to do them for you.
And how much do you charge for the service, Crumb?
Well, normally people charge quite a bit for these, right? Normally people charge quite a bit for them, depending on the whatchamacallit, length of it, right? Okay. So if you're doing like a 3-card reading, sometimes it's usually $20 to $40. If you're doing like a full Celtic cross type of reading, you're probably looking at close to $50 to $80.
Mm-hmm. But here on the Canucklehead show,
I know. Here on the Canucklehead show, you're getting some prime quality content.
Yeah.
Content. So Randy Schreibner says, I am game.
There we go.
So this is just going to be a very generic thing. It's not going to be like super duper. Oh, well, I guess I can't guarantee if it's going to be super duper specific. It might actually be. It's up to the cards if they want to be super duper specific. So,
and those cards better be nice. Who knows who's going to be a Patreon member down the line?
It's not about that.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Oh my goodness gracious.
So, it's normally pretty expensive to get tarot card readings done. Mine have a very, very high accuracy. So, and that's not me pumping my own tires. This is what I've been told. So, this one is for Randy Schreibner. I'm just going to do a little bit more shuffling here. I don't know if you...
Yep, we could hear it.
Okay.
Sounds like a demon eating something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel the energy of the cards here and see when they...
So we say tarot cards are like magic cards? And I'm totally kidding. Don't answer that.
No. The for reference, if anyone's wondering, for reference, because I don't have my camera set up. I don't think I can get my camera set up properly right now to do this. I'm using the Gilded Tarot deck. Gilded Tarot. So if anybody wants to have reference on exactly what I'm doing here. So I think that's... Yep. And cut there. All right. So I'm going to do a 3-card draw for Randy Schreibner Jr. See exactly what's going on here. All right, we have some powerful cards popping up. Oh my.
Mm-mm.
All right, so I'm going to be 1 second here. I'm going to move this. Oh my God, I'm bashing everything. Move that out of the way. Okay. So we actually did get a couple major arcana. I'm going to have to look up a couple of these just to get full meanings on them.
Yeah. Using the power of the internet.
Power of the interwebs. I can't find the book. I usually have the book for reference because it's... I usually have the reference book just because I'm not 100% on all of these yet, but because these ones I have not actually had. I've never actually pulled either of the major arcana that I've pulled before. So,
All right.
this is a first.
Hello. And we got to make sure it's
All right.
adequate.
So to let you know, the sound of fate. Exactly. So to let you know, we pulled the King of Swords first in the first position. We pulled Justice in the second position and the Magician in the third position. I've never actually had Justice or the Magician pull up before.
That's
So
cool.
that's very, very interesting.
That sounds pretty cool.
I'm going to try to get some insight. Okay. I think I'm getting some. Okay. They're all very powerful positions, with the King of Swords obviously being the top of the minor arcana in the swords category. Justice being 11, also just a very powerful card overall. The Magician being the start of the journey outside the first step beyond the Fool. So, let me just see if I can find what the cards are trying to tell me here. I know there's a lot of silence in this. I understand.
It's all good. I want to make silly
is a lot
noises,
of-
but I don't want to distract you from what you're
It's a
doing.
lot of thinking, right?
Yeah.
All right. So from what I'm able to concentrate on these cards is that there's something for Randy Schreibner here. There's something that you're looking at from like a spiritualist perspective that you're kind of being indecisive on. What Justice is telling you is that you have to make decisive action. You have to make. What Justice is saying is to take the decisive action. I should say, actually, not that you have to take one. It's that you should be taking a decisive action. The Magician is saying, bring forward whatever it is that that you're hesitant about. Manifest it. Bring it to the forefront. Create it. The Magician is creation. It being in the third draw is very much a creationist. Start your journey, make it happen. Justice is telling you to just go ahead and do it. So whatever it is that's on your mind, whatever it is that you're kind of hesitant about, that you're having second guessing on right now, the cards are saying that you just need to take the leap. You need to start creating it. You need to do it. You need to go ahead and just make the leap, make it happen, create what you are thinking about. Stop second guessing yourself. Sorry, I'm getting a tickle in my throat. Stop second guessing yourself and just go full bore. Make it happen. Create it. That's what I get from that one.
So do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So I hope that helps you out, Randy. I don't know if it does or not, but that's what the cards have for you.
Well, we got the live internet here, so let us know what you think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to grab a drink. So if you wanted to just fill time for a minute here.
Sure. No problem at all. So, anyways, I want to thank everyone for basically clicking on in today's show. It's absolutely fantastic to have you today. And also keep in mind that on Monday, we will be having a special long weekend show where both Crumb and myself, and hope a few other people, will be sitting down once again and chit-chatting about this and that and other wonderful things. What is Crumb? What is a long weekend show all about? Do we have a theme for that yet, or we're still coming up with that?
Well, it's the civic holiday, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about the Whisper Network stuff. We're going to have Critical Blast.
That's right. That's right.
on the
Critical
show.
Blast, Whispered Network. We're going to talk about our own Whispered Network that's here in Southern Ontario and stuff like that as well. And maybe talk about the fan club, perhaps. Maybe not. Who knows? And, what is Randy?
So Randy's saying the Blue Show, I guess it's coming back. So yeah, I mean, if that was what was on the forefront of your mind that you've been hesitating and hemming and hawing about, Justice is telling you to just go ahead and do it, and the Magician is saying, bring it to creation. So
Awesome.
that hopefully resonates with you. I'm hoping so. Looks like you have the fates behind you. Like you have at least 2 major arcana behind you on that one. So it's going to be it will be a powerfully backed ambition. So
That's cool. And Randy, if you're still listening to us here, what is the Blue Show all about? We could do a little bit of pitching here, if that's okay with you, Crumb.
yeah, for sure. If you wanted to pitch your show, Randy, I'd be more than happy.
Yeah,
to.
just give us the basic premise, and we'll throw it up and chit chat about it and stuff like that. Because heaven forbids, if we can't support each other, then why are we really here? If you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And Mike Walters asking, so would you all like to tell everybody what's happening on the 21st? Yes. We're going to be on Mike Walters' show on the 21st.
Are we really?
I believe it's a Friday.
That's
I believe it's a
amazing.
Friday. So we're going to be his first guests.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
going to be good times. It's going to be a good
So
time. We're going
what-
to be chatting.
So we're
on
gonna take
Mike's
someone else's
show.
vehicle. We're gonna kick the tires, squeal it
Yeah.
around, drive
we're gonna have-
do donuts in the parking lot.
So we'll have more information. We'll throw that up around social media closer
Yeah.
to the day. But everyone, check out Mike Walters. Give him a little updoodle on YouTube,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Subscribe to his channel.
check it out. Subscribe because
Yeah.
we're gonna be on there in a few short weeks.
Time is really clicking by quickly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
And Randy is saying it's a radio show. It's a show I used to do in broadcasting school called the Big Bad Blues. I think
Oh,
sounds
that's
like
awesome.
it sounds like something that you should pick back up. You might really find some happiness by doing it.
I'm assuming when you say the Big Bad Blues, I'm assuming you mean the music genre of the blues, or just things that are sad, or things that are the color blue.
I'm guessing it's a music.
Obviously,
Guessing it's music.
I'm just trying to be silly.
So we have Action Toys channel. I'll take one. All right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
Brave person. Brave person.
try and get this going here. Again, it's going to be something it's totally up to the cards. The cards have a mind. Like, this particular deck has a mind of its own. So I can't promise if it's going to be something specific or if it's going to be something general. It literally just does whatever it wants to. I could tell you like that is I want it to be a short thing, but it'll be like, oh no, now you done did it. So
Oh no.
I'm gonna focus on this really quickly here. No, not quite yet.
How many different cards are there in a tarot deck, if you know?
There's the minor arcana, which is 1 through your generic 1 through 12, I think it is, or
Okay.
or 13. So it's 10, 11. Yeah, it's 13.
Oh, excuse me.
Thank you, Ty. Nice mask. This is my Huntress cosplay from Dead by Daylight. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's 1 through 13 for the minor arcana, and then you have 0 through, I believe it's 20. I think it's 21.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly how many cards that works out to, but it's quite a lot. Because you have four different types of minor arcana, which are 13 cards each. So you have your standard 52 plus your 20, I think 22,
Okay.
23 major arcana. So
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, another funny thing is the mask that Crumb has there. She wore that at the last Kitchener Zombie Walk. So anyone that knows Crumb's mythos was kind of funny because you got all these zombies getting together in this one little zombie hunter. So, yeah,
all right.
fun stuff.
Now we're drawing them. Okay. First draw. Second draw. Oh boy. Third draw. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So these cards I've definitely dealt with before. The first card is the Seven of Wands. The second card drawn is the Hermit. And the third card drawn is the Knight of Pentacles. I may draw an additional card here just to get clarification on what this might be towards. So this one, the Seven of Wands, shows that you are going to be confronted by your peers about something. That's usually what it means. It usually means that you're going to be faced with a confrontation. You're going to be called. You're going to be called to defend yourself about an action. This particular card is from the Gilded Tarot, so it has the one person holding the wand defending himself against several others that have their wands raised up against him. He does have a door halfway open on his back, so you do have a way out of it. You have an escape if things don't go well for you. The Hermit in the second position here, it's telling you that you're going to need to take some time away. You're going to need to kind of sequester yourself, reevaluate things, pull back, take some time alone, because the Knight of Pentacles is telling you you're going to have to proceed with caution. Defend yourself, be defensive, proceed with caution as you come back from whatever this is that is either happening or going to be happening. Basically, pick who your friends are very carefully. I'm going to do one more draw here. Okay, this one I'm not super duper familiar with, so I'm going to pull it up really quickly. I'm just going to reference this really quickly because this actually does seem to be yeah. Okay. So I pulled the Four of Swords, which it's reiterating that you're going to need to take some time to rest, relax, kind of just take a moment, because the Three Swords are pointing down towards the chest of the person who's lying down, but the person who's lying down does have the fourth sword within his reach to deflect any blades that come his way. So this is very much pointing towards something that's going to be taking a lot of time and energy from you. Probably something very personal, I would say, possibly a family matter. It's dealing with physical people that are close to you. I'm not talking about internet. This is something that's going to be like your peers, your friends, your friend group, your offline group, your family, your loved ones. Something is going to happen that's going to call your actions into question, that you're going to have to take some time away. Just use that time to relax, restore, refresh, realize that you're always going to be in a position where you're not going to be cornered. You're going to have a way out of it. Just proceed cautiously moving forward, and choose your friends wisely. That's what this reading is telling me. So I hope that is insightful. It's interesting, to say the least. I mean, they're not always happy ones, right? I mean, sometimes they're happy. It could be a happy reading. I don't know. I'm not Action Toys channel, so I'm hoping.
Well, basically, that one's okay for you. Did you see the video that's on the Action Toys channel on YouTube?
Not recently.
No, basically, there was putting together a He-Man figure. I thought it was pretty cool.
Very cool.
I thought it was pretty cool because I used to put those things together when I was a kid, and the biggest problem I always had was this elastic band that was inside, but it's not like a regular elastic band. Like it's pretty thick and it was black. So the thing is that always held the head, torso, and the crotch part all together, and of course got the legs and the arms that connected to that. So when I was seeing this all together, going, "Oh my god, this reminds me of my childhood," when I started playing Dr. Scientist with all my different He-Man figures from back in the day. And of course, when you snap, or was it G.I. Joe's? Oh gosh, I'm gonna go confused. I don't know if it's He-Man or G.I. Joe's. It's one of the two.
So Mike was saying, I have you scheduled for Friday, August 21st, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Hope to have one more person on that night if they can get them confirmed as well. Sounds good. So mark that down, Friday, August 21st, folks. Very, very much looking forward to that. And Action Toys is saying, interesting, last year I was accused of something I didn't do. Lost my job because I was accused of having been... because I was just accused and have been relaxing this past year. I've lost friends, gained friends, lots of help, lots of hate and support. So yeah, I guess I guess it's relating to that. I don't know. It might be relating to that. It's just telling you just to pick your friends wisely. It's saying, for your group, just be very cautious moving forward.
I'm really sorry that happened to you. That really sucks.
Yeah, so it's just telling you to be very cautious moving forward. Use this time to relax, recuperate things. With the major arcana that was in there, it is a very strong motivating factor. So it really wants you to just kind of take that time away. Just use that time wisely. The Hermit is very much self-reflection, pulling away, etc. The Knight, being one of a higher minor arcana, is also speaking strongly. You need to just be very careful with who you associate with and how you proceed going forward. Just being cautious.
Yeah.
So, all right. And so, Action Toys saying, Mr. Hop, you're adorable. P.S. G.I. Joe.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Thank you, Toys. Appreciate it.
So we have another one. Siren Jag messaged me. He wanted to, on Discord, he wanted one as well. So
Okay.
This might be the last one that we're doing for today. I don't know if anybody else wanted one or not, but
they're free.
they're free.
For a limited time offer. Limited time only. Not offer, sorry.
Free real estate.
We have several bridges for sale. Really, really premium bridges. The best bridges ever.
So I'm going to focus on Siren Jag here. Let's see if we have a message from the cards for Siren Jag. Dump-a-dump-dum. See where these shuffle to, yeah. There. Okay. All right. I'm going to draw the cards. Oh, my. Okay. It's a little bit sad.
Oh, no. No.
It's not terrible, but
Okay.
it's a message.
Okay.
And basically, this is just a message for Siren Jag. So, the first card that I've drawn was the Four of Wands. The second was the Three of Swords. 1 second. I have to get a drink. The second was the Three of Swords. The third is the Major Arcana Strength.
Okay.
I will draw an additional card after this as well, after the initial breakdown of what this means for Siren Jag. So I hope you're listening, Siren. The Four of Wands depicts a happy family. Very successful. Normally, it shows like abundance, lots of life, lots of everything else like that. So it shows the family encircled around the Four Wands with a bouquet of like flowers around the top and lots of insects, lots of animals, lots of life, lots of foliage on the card. So depicting a very, very happy, fulfilling life. The Three of Swords, it shows turmoil in the heart. It shows that there is something that has locked your heart in strife, that has cut into the heart 3 different ways. It's showing that there is something that has locked you into a troubled feeling or something like that. The Strength Arcana is really, really powerful in this position because it is trying to remind you that the picture on this particular card, it is a woman barely holding the chain or leash or whatever else you'd call it of a lion that walks beside her. So the Strength Arcana is telling you that you have to remember that you possess the strength to walk alongside this. You're not letting the lion, in this case, you're not letting the lion drag you, and it's not letting you drag it. You walk hand in hand. The struggle and whatever else that is causing you this grief, it is still with you, and you have to realize that it's a partnership per se. It's not a master command. It's not a master commander type of thing. It's a equals walking together. The fourth one that I'm going to pull here is the Empress. I need to look up the Empress really quickly to see something. Because I have an idea of what it is. I just want to confirm it. Okay, yeah. So the Empress, I've put in a fourth position. I pulled into fourth position. It's a reminder that that she's connected to the earth, that she's connected to life itself, and she draws a sense of peace from all of this. So from what all of this is telling me, Siren, I know this is going to probably speak to you specifically, that all of the concerns that you have right now, everything of what the cards are telling me, is that even though what you may have felt that you have lost, just is reminding you that it is surrounding you in nature all the time. It walks with you. It is with you. Everything is still there, even though you might not be able to see it or notice it. Just to harken back to the Four of Wands, the family, even though they're surrounded by nature and they have all this nature that's right there with it, the family is only concerned with looking at themselves, so they don't notice the nature around it. I have a really strong feeling that this is telling you that even though you're not noticing these things, even if you're not seeing it, it is still with you. It is still all around you. So I'm hoping that gives some insight to you. And there you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go.
Oh, and Gelth Walker. I'm just going to take a moment because that one took a bit out of me.
Yeah, let's just take a little bit there. And again, I'll just basically write shotgun when you're clutching yourself. Again, Monday show. Then we're going to do something on Friday as well. So a lot of stuff happening with the Canuckleheads initiative. And again, we're going to have Critical Blast on Monday, talking about Whisper Networks and stuff like that. Secret stuff in fandom. Silliness. And also on top of that, yeah, so Monday, Friday. Whew, that's a lot of work when you think about it. So how are you holding up there?
We do it for the fans, right? We do it for people we care.
Do it. That's what the Emperor keeps saying. Do it.
Yeah.
Also,
Alrighty.
ultimate power.
Unlimited power. Action Toys Channel's asking, what's that shirt?
This shirt? Oh, that's something I made a while ago. I said, why would I want to keep showing off someone else's other IP when I could just make my own? Because I'm a super person. What does this mean? Right. It's a symbol of hope.
Roll for initiative.
There we go.
And Mike Walter's saying, one more thing I should mention is that Monday night at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
Pacific time.
Pacific.
Specific.
Pacific.
Will be the premiere of the nightly live stream at the Mic Stand, which is going to be covering niche news. Excellent. That's very cool.
That is cool. Is there, like, this is going to sound silly, but is there a YouTube URL we could throw in there so people are not stumbling along the internets by accident?
We'll do it closer to the day.
Okay, cool.
Just so it doesn't get lost in the internet.
Makes sense. So much stuff going on.
Yeah. So Gelth would like one. I'm going to do this again. 3-card draw here. I'm going to concentrate on this really quickly. See where things shake out. I know this part's always boring for people because you can't see what I'm doing. This is why it's actually like it's much better in person.
Yeah.
Because you get that like emotional connection as well.
And the thing is, if we thought of it, maybe we like put like a little camera overhead and do stuff like that.
Well-
but we're doing this all on the fly. It's all on the whim. And the thing is that, again, we're both two entertaining individuals who could fill in the blanks. Not
All
a
right.
problem.
So this is for Gelthwalker, the first 3 draws. Okay. All right. It's actually, from what I can tell, not too terrible. I
Awesome.
need to look up one card because I'm not. I'm mostly aware, just not in this position. Not in this position. Okay. So, three card reading for Gelthwalker. The first was the Page of Cups. You gotta go potty. The first was the Page of Cups. The second was the Empress, and the third is the Knight of Wands.
Oh.
So this is regarding a relationship. I can tell you that right now. The Empress being in the middle here signifies that it's about a relationship. Normally she's like about nature, about this, that, whatever else. This I can tell you was very, very strong feeling that this is about a new relationship that you may have recently gotten into or are getting into. Judging by the Page of Cups, the Page of Cups is somebody. The depiction of the Page of Cups is a young man very gingerly carrying a cup as to not spill any drops. Just taking his first steps, learning his first steps in whatever else. So this is definitely a reading into a relationship. It is warning you, however, not to go. I'm going to do another draw here. I'm just shuffling really quickly. It is warning you on going too fast. The Knight of Wands is a very passionate card. It shows a knight carrying a wand, charging full speed ahead with a fiery background, scorching everything in his path. So it is warning you to not go too heavy. Try not to go too fast into it. I'm going to draw a 4th card here just to see. Is that the right one? Yes, it is. Okay. That's right cut. Drawing right now. Knight of Pentacles. Very, very interesting. So the Knight of Wands is giving you a warning to not go too fast. Instead, be cautious, take heed, because not everything is as it seems. I'm going to do one more draw over top of the last 2.
Card number
Justice.
5.
Justice. Interesting that Justice pops up again. So Justice is telling you to make a decision. Be decisive, but be careful, because not everything around you is friendly. So be decisive, take a stand, make a decision. Whatever it is that you're thinking about, whatever it is that's on your mind, make a decision about it. You need to decide. Gal says, I'm a lover, not a fighter. Kept my head this time, but I have learnt to say no over some things. Okay. I don't know what your situation is, but this is what this is what Justice is telling you. The Knight of Wands is telling you not to go so fast. Slow down. Knight of Pentacles also telling you slow down, be careful, be cautious, and Justice is telling you to be decisive. Make a decision. So that is the message it has for you. It's very, very strong. Very, very strong. It has 2 major arcana that came out for that one. So whatever it is, slow the fuck down, and think out your decision properly, and make up your damn mind.
That sounds like solid advice for anybody. Just calm down, slow down, think, and then make your decision.
Yeah. So big ups to my big ups to the Gilded Tarot deck. That's the deck that I'm using. I don't take credit for these readings. I just try to interpret what the cards say. The Gilded Tarot deck is doing all the work. So
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And all this brought to you by the Canuckleheads Show, broadcasting live every Saturday.
Yeah.
6 o'clock Toronto time.
There we go. What's this saying?
Yep. Oh,
Gelth is so loving that he took a Karen SUV to the lateral side of his body, also without lube. Oh my goodness.
oh.
Yeah. So
Goodness gracious.
there you have it. So yeah, basically, I want to give some demonstrations about how tarot works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't. Again, this is also. It's more about the cards and the cards themselves than it is about the person that has that's reading them, right? The person that's reading, like, I'm only a conduit. I'm only the one relaying the message.
Yep.
Gelth Walker saying, I've already made the decision over one thing and I've made amends to some stuff. Now I have reversed course and several friends like you and Siren Jag have been a beneficiary of the thought process.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. Well, it's justice is telling you to stick to your decisions and all that stuff. So make your decision and stick to it.
Yeah. Make the right decision, whatever the decision is.
Well, take your time and make your decision and pick your friends very carefully.
Yeah. And if it's not the best one, you can always take a step back.
Shadows King says, I'm very dumb. I was only able to memorize the major arcana. Yeah, basically what my suggestion would be for people, don't feel intimidated if you have to look up the meaning of the cards. Like, the core meanings of the cards are fine. Like, I don't know all of the core meanings of every cards because they don't always come up. But when you look up for core meanings or certain things, the core definitions of the cards, the decks themselves, they each have nuances, right? So, like, the Gilded Tarot has really, really beautiful artwork. So I would suggest take a look at, Google it if you have a chance. Take a look at the artwork. It has some really beautiful artwork. Lots of nuances in it that you can draw conclusions from yourself and get to know your deck, get to understand your cards, get familiar with your cards, so that when they come up, you'll know what they're trying to say when they're in certain positions. Someone was asking, how many different types of tarot decks are there? There's quite a lot. There's very popular ones, like Gilded Tarot, I'm pretty sure is one of the more popular tarot decks, just because of how beautiful the cards are and how in-depth. Some prefer to have the more simple cards. Some prefer to have the more traditional. There's many different ones. The next question is, why is there so many decks? That is because of preference, really. Each of the cards, they have their own meaning. So, like, Knight of Wands is going to be the same across all decks, right? They're going to have the same definition. But the art on the cards and the things that you draw from the different cards might be a bit different based from deck to deck, right? But they're usually the same sort of things. It's just up to the individual's interpretation and how they're pulled up. So that's more or less what tarot is. You have a basic guideline, and you have flavor text that you can help flush out certain nuances of different things. That's why there's different ones. So yeah. And basically, yeah, any deck of cards can be used as a tarot deck. You just don't have the major arcana in your regular 52 card deck. The major arcana make up a big difference. Some people only read with the major arcana, so they only read with those. Some people only read with the minor arcana. So it all comes down into accuracy, because sometimes different cards will give better insight, or different decks will give better insight. It really comes down to what feeling you get from the deck yourself. If you feel like a certain deck reads certain ways. Tarot is definitely different than oracle reading. Oracle cards are different, which is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And a much different way of reading them as well. So Very, very interesting stuff. I hope it was insightful for the people that we did readings for.
Well, I thought that was very insightful, and I think we all did a good job with all that. People were very brave. They stepped up, and basically got their tarot read.
Yeah. So
it was good. It was good.
So that's about all I have for the show today. I don't know if you have anything else, Mr.
No, I'm all plumbed out. Like, we've been plugging the different shows we're going to be part of that's coming up again Monday. Special long weekend show. Plus, on top of it, we got the show on Friday. And, of course, getting back to the show on Monday, we're going to have RJ from Critical Blast. So that's for pulp culture. Gets blasted.
Gets blasted.
That's right. And it should be tons of fun, especially when the three of us start chit-chatting about what's going on and stuff.
Exactly.
Like
so I don't know. We have a bit more people than we had originally. Anybody here right now want to see the intro that we had for the show?
Spin that at least one more time.
We can play it
before we sign off.
The outro.
When play as an outro?
We can play it as an outro.
All right.
I'll put it up to the chat. Press 1 in the chat if you guys want to see the intro again.
Okay, I'm pressing 1.
Or if you missed the intro.
Yeah. Oh, just play the outro. Well, the thing is that we don't
have an outro. We don't have an outro.
That's true. You can play it again. We can come back and sign off properly. How does that sound?
That sounds good. We'll do that.
Awesome.
I see. Yes, wasn't sure when it started. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Awesome.
There you go.
We will be
lots of ones.
We will be right back. Here was the intro for the show, fam. Enjoy it. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Welcome back for yet another episode.
Hi.
We hope you be ready for some tales that will shiver your timbers.
Hello?
Be sure to keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times, lest ye be wanting to join me crew. Swashbuckle up, and ye best be ready for a bumpy ride.
Yeah. Whoops. There we go.
Huh? Huh? Look at that. Who puts all that together, Crumbs?
Right.
There you go. There it is.
So there you go.
Wonderful.
I think we'll roll that one for any spooky Saturday we have.
I think so too. I think it'd be funny if we actually just tweak it a little bit more each time so it looks a little bit different.
I'll figure something out.
Yeah.
If anybody's wondering, I've credited the artists for each of the art that I found of Foxy. So I used four different fan arts of Foxy. They're credited down in the description below. So if y'all want to check them out and give those artists some love, because they did a fantastic friggin' job on those photos.
They did. Yeah, so. I agree. I'm not just saying this to sound cool. No, they did a good job. It's just
Gelth is asking who made that intro. I made that intro. It's
Crumbreon.
Saturday in most of the world, Gelth. Not everyone's in kangaroo land.
Yeah, upside down world. For
not everyone's in the upside down.
Down under the hotting down the kangaroos and such.
What, the music? I can't remember. I didn't get the name of the person that did the music, because it was just some like random royalty-free music.
There you go.
And then the music box, obviously, from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, and it's well put together. Together.
So.
Good job, Crumb. Good job. All right, let's wrap this son of a bitch up. Unless something else you want to talk about.
Just because you're too lazy to join us in the future. We'll get there eventually.
We'll do it tomorrow.
But yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been another spooky Saturday.
There we go.
And we'll hope to do this again in a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Oh my goodness. Did you have any final thoughts, Mr. Hop?
Well, I just want to thank everyone that showed up to today's broadcast. Absolutely fantastic with you. And once again, another broadcast taking place on Monday, and we're broadcasting again on Friday. So it should be lots of fun. Of course, RJ from Critical Blast will be joining us on our Monday show. So, lots of fun.
Actually, Toys Channel, why did the stream seem so short? Because we didn't have Drexel on.
Well, plus on top of that 7 hours of broadcasting, that's triple time and a half.
Exactly. Now we'll have another show on Monday. Tune in on Monday. Until then, bye bye.
See